I am going to talk about text on a path here as part of this assignment. So I'm going to write some text here, use the text tool. I'm going to type on something like hi class, super small, so let's go ahead and make this bigger. There we go. Of course, when I'm working with text, I always want to have up action safe and title safe, right? So I have text. Here is the text. You guys remember from assignment 3, project 3, we dealt with text before, right? So what I'm going to do now is to create a path with a mask. I could use one of the masking tools like the rectangle tool or the star tool, any of these things if I wanted to, or I can use the pen tools as we've done before. So I'm going to use the pen tool to make a hill. So I'm going to put a point here. I'm going to put a point up here, and I'm going to hold down the left click. I'm going to move it out to get the Bezier tool so I can actually make it a hill. And then I'm going to click down here. So I got this hill, right? Now, I did this with this layer selected, right? So therefore, I now have a mask on this layer. If for some reason I didn't do that and this layer wasn't selected and I started trying to do the hill, what's going to happen is a shape layer is going to come up right here. So if you get the shape layer, this is why. It's because you did not have the layer selected that you needed. So you have to have the layer selected in order for this to work. So we have a mask on here, right? As we see right here, we can twirl open the text, and we now have path options. If we open this, we now have none, right? Twirl open mask, I have mask 1. Open this up, I now have the option to have mask 1 on here. If I click to that, this is going to stick the mask to the letters, right? I have the letters stick to the mask anyway. So now that we have this, we have all kinds of options, right? We can reverse the path, upside down, perpendicular, where everything's straight up and down, right? We can do a force alignment, where it's going to go throughout the mask, which we don't really want. And then we can animate things like force margin, which is going to allow us to do this, right? So let's say I want to animate this along the path, and I want this to climb the hill, right? This could be our first keyframe, okay? And let's say I want it at top at 2 seconds, right? I can move this to 2. I can move this path up here, something like this. Let's say I want to hold it for a second. A blank keyframe, and then take it to the end where I want it to go completely off. All right, I now have this animation that does this, where it climbs the path, stops, and it goes away. And this is having text follow a path. Now, it comes in, it slams in, right, and then it goes out. If we can use some keyframe, we can use some keyframe assistance here and actually have things like ease in, right, as it eases into a stop. And then we can have it ease out. And to me, this makes it look just a little more professional. Ease out of the stop. And what happens is that if we watch this, it's going to ease in nice and slow. And then gain speed to ease out. To me, I think this looks more professional. And of course, the pacing, we can read that very well. Okay, so that's text on a path.